dash my idols to the ground. They never help me anyway. I've been working so hard instead of resting in your grace. I fix my eyes on Christ. I fix my eyes on Christ. The other things I trust in, they never catch me when I fall. All those fleeting pleasures are no pleasure at all. I fix my eyes on Christ. Oh, my sin nailed to the cross. All earthly gain I count now as loss. And there's no treasure in this world, nothing's here will ever last. But all the promises of God, everyone will come to pass. I fix my eyes on Christ. I fix my eyes on Christ. The other things I trust in, they never catch me when I fall. All those fleeting pleasures are no pleasure at all. I fix my eyes on Christ. More, He is more than all this world can offer. I know that He's more enough. He is enough. The end of all my wanting, I know He is enough. More, He is more than all this world can offer. I know that He is more enough. He is enough. The end of all my wanting, I know He is enough. I fix my eyes.
Hey, what's up, people? How we doing today? Got a chill stream going on, hanging out with you guys for a little bit. I've really enjoyed getting to do these. I'm going to need to... Why is it every time that I do one of these, I start coughing? Like, what? I don't understand. I'm not coughing all day long, and then the moment I turn the stream on, it's like, oh yeah. Insane. Well, listen, guys, I've got about an hour, maybe a little bit longer, possibly, to stream and hang out with y'all for a little bit. I have a meeting with some elder candidates at our church after that, so I'll definitely have to cut it off after that. But yeah, really looking forward to doing this, hanging out with you guys. Let's see, we already got some folks up in the chat. Let's see, and Kali, I already answered you in the chat, but yeah, the song in the intro video is one of my pieces of original music. I have Bandcamp links in most of those, most of my normal videos. They're just kind of in the description where you can find any of those songs. That particular one is called Fix My Eyes, and it is available on Bandcamp. So yeah, thanks for asking about that. Kobe says, that reminds me I need to go buy your music. Hey, bro. I appreciate it. No pressure at all. I appreciate it, though. Good to see you, Kobe. Glad you're hanging out for a bit. Twice Born, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. Glad that you're joining. Let's see. Wow, sounds great. Definitely one that gets stuck in your head. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I'm glad it's kind of come off as an earworm. That's cool. Um, yeah, I wrote that song quite a while ago. It's been a minute, but I do like it. Um, it came from a place of just sort of thinking through the idea of sanctification and how it's sort of rooted in our justification. That if we start thinking on our good works as if those are more than just the fruit and not the root, and the root just being in Jesus and fixing our eyes there as we seek to follow him. So that's kind of where that came from. Pox per zone. Is that how you say that? Pox per zone? What's your favorite pen and ink pair for writing and whatnot? I go back and forth quite a bit between a few different fountain pens. Ooh, almost dropped it. This one right here has been a go-to here lately. This is the TWSBI Diamond 580, and I have Diamine Oxblood, and that Oxblood is probably my favorite ink, like just in general. But I also have been using here lately this guy, my Lamy 2000, which is the nicest pen that I own for sure. And it's got Diamine Oxford Blue in it. And I like that combo quite a bit as well. I'm a big fan of Diamine. The Diamine inks are incredible. This is the one I keep with my little prayer journal, and it's the Kaweco Sport Steel. And I have some Diamine Teal in that. They don't really even make Diamine Teal anymore, but I had a ton of cartridges left over. So if I had to pick a favorite combo, it's probably going to be the Lamy 2000 of ones I own with the Diamine Oxblood. So that's sort of where I'm at with that. Godwire, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for joining the chat. Love to hear it. Man, what is going on in you guys' world right now? What do y'all want to talk about? There's a lot of things that are obviously going on around the world, but, there's an interesting piece of news I learned this morning, which has nothing to do with theology or anything like that. But if you guys have been on YouTube, you've probably heard of that guy, the Liver King. And he got arrested today for making all these threats against Joe Rogan, and was traveling to Austin to confront Joe Rogan about something. I just thought that was wild. Like, absolutely wild. The guy, honestly, my heart kind of breaks for him because he got busted for using steroids, or he got exposed for using steroids when he was saying he didn't. And it seems like his mental health has just kind of declined for a while. So, noticed that this morning. Thought that was crazy. Twiceborn, are you into pocket knives? If so, what's your favorite brand and knife? I'm not super into pocket knives. I like them, but I'm not like really into pocket knives like some friends that I have are. The one knife I have, I don't have with me right now, that I do like. I think it's like I know I have is it Gerber? It's a brand for pocket knives, and I also have a Smith & Wesson pocket knife. I like those two a lot, but I'm not a pocket knife fiend. I like them, but it's not really something that I'm super into. I know I could be, and there's a lot of things like that. There's a topic sort of to dive into, but like knowing yourself as far as when you get into a hobby or a collecting of something, kind of knowing, is this going to be a major rabbit hole that I go down? Because I already have a ton of those, or not a ton, but more than I need as far as little hobbies and things like that. Obviously, I love books, so I invest money into good books often. But I'm also, here's an example of one I know I would be super into if I ever started collecting, and I'm not going to because I know my wallet just can't afford it, is vinyl, like music. I love the idea of vinyl. Big music fan, love all sorts of music, but I'm particularly partial to metal. I like metal a lot. And if I ever started going down that vinyl track, man, that would not be good for my wallet. Just say that. But yeah, so as far as knives go, not really super into it per se. Callie says, fountain pens, so fun. Still looking for fountain pen friendly Bible or ink that can work in most Bible. I've got the diamond as well, but my fave is the Pilot Vanishing Point extra fine. Chef's kiss. Hey! Got one of those right here. I've got the black Vanishing Point. Love this pen. It is a good pen. I don't know if mine's fine or extra fine, but yeah, it's a great pen. Love it. I have yet to find a fountain pen friendly Bible. That would be a cool thing. I just imagine it would have to be tremendously thick, because trying to get a paper that's heavy enough with enough of a GSM situation, yeah, that would be a challenge. But Vanishing Point, I definitely agree. Mwah, chef's kiss. Awesome pen, for sure. Luke, what's up, man? Good to see you. I caught alive. I have a question. When are you releasing an album? The time required to do something like that, it would be my biggest obstacle. I sort of have like a very rough cut EP on Bandcamp, but it's not like professional. It's not produced. By the way, if you want some good music from a couple of solid brothers, and you like some of the stuff I put out, you may like these guys. I really love their stuff. And I'm a little biased because I used to go to church with both these brothers at the Fields Church in Mansfield. But my friend Graham Jones Music, wonderful stuff. And he's played in front of quite a few people. He's played, he's played with Andrew Peterson. He's played with John Foreman, which is super cool. But Graham is just a humble dude. He writes wonderful songs. So Graham Jones Music, highly recommend. And then my other friend, Sam Bowman, he writes more like electronic style music, has a great voice. Sam Bowman Music, really good stuff. So there's a couple of recos for you. Both of those guys are way more talented than I could ever be as far as music goes. But yeah, maybe one day, Luke, I would love to be able to do it, man. Twice Born. I used to be really into collecting knives, but ever since last summer, I've really been into premium Bibles. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, man. You get a couple of those things, and they're really nice to have. If I remember correctly, I know you won my giveaway for the Skylar PSQ and the ESV, but didn't you also have a Premier Collection KJV? I think I've seen pictures of that on Instagram. It looked like a really nice Bible. It's like a green color or something. I liked it. Kobe says, I don't collect knives, but I have a few Gerber. Okay, so Gerber is a brand then. I was right. I thought that's how you say it. I always get that confused because that, baby food and stuff, I'm like, it's just an interesting name for a brand. Dr. Mike, what's up, my man? Good afternoon to you. Glad to see you. Oh, Kobe, cool, man. Yeah, went to the PCAGA today, the General Assembly, and got to meet Matthew Everhard. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Matt seems like such a cool dude. I would love to be able to meet him in person. He's really been a joy to follow here on YouTube. If you haven't seen any of Matthew Everhard's stuff, highly recommend. Solid guy. The PCAGA is the Presbyterian Churches of America General Assembly, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cody. But I think Matt just did a debate with Redeemed Zoomer that I caught, and it was pretty good. Good to watch. And I believe he's going to be coming on my friend Tim Frisch. He's going to be coming on his channel to talk with Tim and the Layman Apologist on their podcast. So be on the lookout for that with Matt. That'll be cool. Kobe, I caught one snippet of the General Assembly thing, and I think it was the Timothy Brindle thing. He used to be, he still is a hip-hop artist, but he was sort of talking about a kind of a hot button issue or something. I caught a little bit of that. Definitely looked interesting. Let's see. Adrian, what's good, fellow believers? Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, sir. Glad to see you. Kobe said he's the same in person as he is on here. I would imagine so. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Everything I've been able to gather about Matt is that he's a man of integrity. So that's really cool. All right, let's see. I did get it right. Great memory. Yeah, I also have a green Premier Collection in KJV. Nice. Very nice. Godwire. I don't own a premium Bible. I doubt that I'll ever buy one now that I'm retired. Well, brother, if you keep following this here channel, I've been known to give them away from time to time. So you never know. I do giveaways on stuff, sometimes just really to celebrate milestones. And when the channel gets up to, I think, my next planned giveaway, I mean, we got a while, but if the channel reaches 5,000 subs, then I'm looking at doing another giveaway. So you might win one. I've got a couple of them back here that are unused and ready to give away. So my man Jerry is a member of my church. Glad to see you on here, brother. Let's see. How about sharing the story behind your beautiful custom acoustic guitar that sounds so beautiful? Yeah, thanks, brother. The guitar I have and play in most of my stuff was a tremendous gift from a brother in my church who blessed me with it. I could have never afforded it, but it's completely custom. It was built by a luthier here in Texas. He's one of the only luthiers I know of, and maybe the only luthier ever. If you don't know what a luthier is, it's someone who builds guitars. But he uses mesquite wood for the back and sides. But I got to go out to his shop and pick out every single piece of wood that is on my guitar, which was incredible. What a tremendous blessing and gift that was. I love my guitar, super thankful for it. So, yeah, if you see it, my guitar on here, that's the story behind it. Let's see. Oh, and you never told me how to say this. I know who this is. This is also a brother in my church, and he has a really, really weird name here. So you're gonna have to explain it. Given his real name is not on here, I'm not gonna out him. But didn't even know you had a custom acoustic, my Yar brother. Yeah, I do. It's here in the office. Adrian. Colton, I wanted to ask you about your opinion on the revised MEV translation before I start my errands, if that's okay. I wish I had one to give, my friend. I don't know a ton about the MEV. That's an area, and you guys bear with me on some of the translation stuff. I don't know what I think about the MEV because I've never really read it and I've never really messed with it much. I know that it is also in the TR, the Textus Receptus, and apparently, they're doing a revised version. So I don't know. So I wish I had an opinion to give you. Unfortunately, I just don't. I'm just not sure what's going on with it. So sorry I couldn't be more helpful. I know channels to recommend. I'm pretty sure that Tim Nichols has done a lot of stuff with the MEV. Check out Tim's channel for some of that. I think I've seen some of it on there. Twice Born, what guitar is in the tan soft case, or is that a rifle? No, it's not a rifle. It is a guitar. This guy right here. Yeah, that is a Fender Stratocaster. It's a Mexican-made Fender Strat. The only electric guitar I currently have. I used to have a Telecaster as well, but yep, good old electric guitar. Here's a question. Matthew 16:18. Is the Masoretic text anti-Christian? I hope not. I haven't really done a lot of looking into why someone would ask that question. So if you have some thoughts to expound on that, feel free. If I'm not mistaken, I know the Masoretic is what is used in the KJV, and it's the base for a lot of Old Testament translations. Some of them also consider other things. Like I know the ESV really leans into the Masoretic, but it also pulls from Dead Sea Scrolls and even just considering looking at the Septuagint sometimes. So interesting question, though. Would love to hear your thoughts on why you're asking that. Thanks, bro. Appreciate your honest opinion on it. And yes, Tim Nichols is doing videos on it. Okay, cool. Yeah. I like Tim's stuff. He's really great on Bibles. Unlike me, he really tends to stick to mostly just talking about Bibles. I talk about Bibles a lot, but I also have other interests that I like to check out from time to time. So that's cool. What else y'all got? What else is going on in the world? Dr. Mike. I'm going through the MEV right now, and Tim Nichols just finished it and going to do a full review on his YouTube channel. Okay, yeah, cool. Dr. Mike, what do you think about the MEV? How is it so far, just in your reading, how has it come across to you? Have you enjoyed it? Has it been a good, way to press in? For me, for some reason, if I'm going to pick up a Bible that's translated from the TR, I just am going to tend to either pick up the KJV or the NKJV. It's just sort of my natural inclination. That doesn't mean the MEV is bad. I just don't know. I haven't had any time to really check it out. So, yeah. Cool. Great questions, you guys. Great discussion. Let's see. I just realized before, I clicked on this so fast. My wife has apparently tuned into the stream, so love you, hon. I definitely am not, but I'm glad you see me as such. All right. Adrian says, are you replying to someone? I don't know. It's just readable as a CSV and simply is better. Godwire, I started reading The Pursuit of God. Great book so far. Okay, who's that by, Godwire? It's not ringing a bell off the top of my head. Who wrote that? Would love to know. Would love to know. I'm always looking for them books to read. I like reading books. By the way, speaking of books, if you haven't seen it yet, I did post a review of this book yesterday. It's on the channel. I Have My Doubts. Philip Ryken. Enjoyed that book. Tozer. Yeah, okay. I may have actually read that and just forgot what the title is. Love Tozer. Theologically, I'm not all on the same page with him, but, I'm not all on the same page with everyone I read by any stretch. Tozer definitely has some wonderful things to say, and I think I may have read that book. I could be wrong, but I think I may have. I read the question, and then I saw it was your wife. Yeah. Would have been inappropriate for anyone else to ask that question. Also, let's be real, who else would ask such a question? No one. All right, let's see. Kobe, I know you have an ESV verse-by-verse preaching Bible, but do you have the paragraph one? No, I do not. I've seen the paragraph one. It looks really legit, but I don't have a copy of that one. I just have the verse-by-verse. And the reason is, for me personally, when preaching and teaching, I find the verse-by-verse format to just be superior for my use case. I don't mean superior for everyone. Some people don't like verse-by-verse. For me, it really helps me to find my place. But I do actually prefer paragraph format for just daily reading. Even though right now I'm reading through the KJV Reformation Heritage Study Bible, and that is verse by verse. It's not my preference for a daily devotional Bible, but I've read through verse by verse Bibles before. So, but yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to have a copy of it, but no, I don't. I've only read one book that I agree with 100%. Dare I guess what that book is? I would imagine it's maybe a song we learned when we were kids, or at least I did. The Bible, yes, that's the book for me. Is that correct? Did I get it right? Sorry, I'm feeling a little whimsical, a little goofy right now, because we're just chilling. We're just having a good old time. And what point is there in having a good time if you can't embarrass yourself a little bit? So, yeah. I got it right. Correct answer. Yep. The Bible, the one book that you agree with everything in it. I like it. What else y'all got? What else is going on in your world? You can ask me anything. It doesn't even have to be anything about, the normal topics. You can ask me anything you want, whatever you want to know. I'm not guaranteeing I'll answer, depending on how embarrassing it is. but I'll try if I can. Yep. Good thing you're such a natural at embarrassing yourself. You know it. You know it. You know it probably better than anyone. I don't know about that. Maybe not better than anyone, but you definitely know it. I love the live streams. I think it makes us feel more like family. Yeah. I like being able to interact with you guys so that it's not just, like me posting a video and then you just commenting in it and back and forth. That's fine and that has its place. But getting to do these, it really helps me to understand my audience a little better, that there are people on the other side of this machine in front of me. And it helps me feel more connected to you guys as well. So, yeah, I love it too. What is your favorite movie from this year, and why is it the Minecraft movie? Well, honestly, if it is the Minecraft movie, which I'm not saying it is, it'd be because it's one of the only newer movies I've seen this year. Although I did just take the family to see the live-action remake of How to Train Your Dragon, and that was pretty good. We liked it. It was fun. But the Minecraft movie definitely has some fun in it for me. I'm a sucker for Jack Black, the goofiness that he brings to the table. A lot of times when I'm sitting down to watch a movie, I don't really want to watch too many serious movies. I'm not saying I don't ever watch them, but I really like comedy as just something more lighthearted because, just takes my mind off stuff, makes me giggle a little bit. So I did enjoy the Minecraft movie. It's hard for me not to ask book-related questions. That's okay. You can certainly ask book-related questions. I just didn't want to limit the scope of where this conversation might go. So hit me with any book-related questions. I'm not guaranteeing you I will have a good answer, but I can try. So fire away if you got one. By the way, since we're at a bit of a lull in the chat, if you could do me a favor, if you haven't already tapped the like button on the side, I would greatly appreciate a tapping of the like button. Thank you. I'm not forcing you. I'm not trying to make you do it, but I would ask you to do it kindly. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Well, this is a question. Have you watched The Chosen? Thoughts from Daniel. So I have not watched The Chosen. And I actually do have a video about why I don't watch The Chosen on here, and it's kind of a hot button topic. But I truly hold to the Second London Baptist Confession. And I do think, in my understanding of what Scripture teaches, that it's probably best to avoid images or portrayals of Jesus. And I know I have a couple of caveats with that, such as like the Biggest Storybook Bible and stuff like that, where it's obviously not meant to be images made to call to mind a realistic picture or things like that. I'm still working through some of my thoughts on it, to be honest, but generally I really think images or depictions of Christ are dangerous. And The Chosen is one of those areas where you can actually see it being dangerous, because there have been people online responding to the actor or responding to the show's account saying that they now picture the actor when they pray, or they have a face to put to Jesus now. And I think that's a problem. I really do. So I don't really have an opinion on the show. I've heard from others who have watched it that it's well done, but I tend to stay away from it. What's the longest book you've read, not including the Bible? Off the top of my head, I don't know if I could tell you for sure. I think if I had to guess, it would be... I really don't know if I can say for sure. I'd have to look at my Goodreads and see if I could find that information somehow. But I've read systematic theology. I had to read a couple of different systematic theologies. One of them that was terrible in Bible college by Elmer Towns, who is at Liberty University. Don't really recommend that one. I've had to read, I think I've read most of Grudem's, and then Berkhoff, which Berkhoff's the man. Love Berkhoff's, says Theo. And I have Beeke's back here behind me, which is 4 volumes. I haven't read through all of them, but I've used them sort of as a source. But I've read some chonkers. Piper's book on Providence was pretty hefty. The Gibson brothers' book on called From Heaven He Came and Sought Her on the Atonement was pretty hefty. So, yeah, I just couldn't say 100% for sure. Are there any subjects you would consider for writing a book of your own? Also, just use my name. I don't mind being doxxed. All right, I'll dox you. Kyle. Oh, it felt so good to get that out. Whew. Thank you, Kyle, for your permission. Subjects writing a book on, for me, I haven't really thought it through. Honestly, if I were to try and put a book together, I would probably do what most pastors do who write some of these books and combine sermon manuscripts and edit them and, sort of do it. So I could write a really good book on Colossians. Could write, some good material on Jude, Romans. But, I haven't ever thought through like a topical, what would I write about? Maybe something like, I don't know. I'm very interested in the doctrine of the Trinity, but I'm not near as much of a deep thinker as the people who are already writing great books on that, like Matthew Barrett. But yeah, haven't really thought through. I think my Bible is like 1,400 pages. Yeah, I don't know how, they're all kind of different. Layman Apologist, what's up, brother? What did I miss? Oh, just shooting the breeze, man. We're just talking about all kinds of things. So you didn't miss a lot, just hanging out. Nothing too serious. Something by Brandon Sanderson, I'll guess. Well, yeah, Sanderson has some long books, and I've read the entirety of the Stormlight Archive. Those are pretty big books. The Stand from Stephen King is a chonker. I read that one. So I don't know if I would be able to say for sure. Let's see. Okay, Godwire. I've watched every episode. My son is not a believer, and he's really into it. If it opens the door for him to believe, we'll take that, as I believe God will use something or use anything as a means to show himself to anyone. I can straighten him out on the theology of it all later. I understand what you're saying, man, and I get it, especially if your child is not a believer. The desire to really want to press in there. My biggest warning about that, and I'm not trying to bind your conscience if you don't hold to the same position on the second commandment that I do. I would just say I would be careful and remember what the scripture teaches with regard to this stuff, that the people believe. Faith comes from hearing, and from hearing the word of Christ. And so, it may be a great tool for you to foster some discussion with him about it and talk about it and all that. I get that. I can't imagine what I would do if I was in your situation. I have children still, but they're very young, and they're in church with me, and they're growing up in a home that catechizes and teaches the Bible to them. So I understand, brother. Let's see. Dr. Mike says, I'm about 3/4 of the way through the MEV, and it isn't bad. It reads just like the KJV and NKJV, but it's less wordy than the NKJV. But I like the wordiness of the NKJV, so I'm staying with that. Yeah, I understand that. For me, with Bible translations, I'm really attracted to literary beauty as well as accuracy. And I think that's the reason why I've stuck with the ESV for so long. And I would say the NKJV and KJV both really capture that as well. Like, they're accurate translations, but they are really beautiful in the way that they are presented. Have you read The Once and Future King? I have not. I don't think. Don't know what that is. I'm actually going to read The Stand probably later this year. Yeah, it's a chonker, man. It's a big book. It's a good story though, but it's a big book. Should Zechariah 11:17 in the KJV be capitalized? Well, let me just look it up, because let's see. Zechariah 11:17. Pulling it up on Bible Hub here to take a look at it. The New King James. Woe to the worthless shepherd who leaves the flock. A sword shall be against his arm and against his right eye. His arm shall completely wither, and his right eye shall be totally blinded. Is that the right passage that you were mentioning there, man? Because if it is, I'm not really seeing a... Are you asking if it should be capitalized? Because it's not? I'm a little confused. I just... yeah. Help me out a little bit. And why do you think it should be capitalized if you do think that? I'm trying to gather my thoughts on it, and I'm just talking about a worthless shepherd. So, yeah, just unsure. Okay. In the book you mentioned earlier, the one based off of The Sword and the Stone is based off. Okay. Yeah, it'd be a cool read. I've never actually checked it out. So, does anyone go to a non-denom church? I mean, or non-demon? Yeah. So this is a a throwback to last time we did a live chat. Twice Porn read something as non-demon instead of non-denom. He was like, shouldn't we all be in non-demon churches? So yeah. Yeah, I ponder. I do some pondering. I like to ponder from time to time. When someone asks me about scripture that I'm not familiar with, I definitely like to ponder. And I definitely don't like to answer on the spot when I haven't given it enough thought. Now, if it is something I have thought about for quite a bit, then yeah, I'll give my opinion. Dr. Mike thinks the non-demon thing is funny. I agree. It cracked me up pretty good. Pretty good. What else y'all got out there? What else is going on in your world? Nothing? Have we reached the end of our journey already? I've still got 17 minutes, give or take. Have we already come to the end? Oh, here's some more. Okay. Do you like the NKJV Shepherd from Humble Lamb, I presume? No. I had thought about even making a video on this at some point, and I haven't. Humble Lamb makes beautiful Bibles, and I'm not at all trying to disparage them, but the sort of Jesus on the spine in an image form, yeah, I'm not into that. So yeah, it's just my honest opinion. Kyle says, what's your most controversial food take? I don't know how controversial it is, but I think that green peas, like, English peas, green peas, are just garbage. I just have no desire to eat them. The texture, the taste, everything, I find it absolutely disgusting. Can't get behind it. Not for it. One other one. No, I'm not going to go into it. I'm going to stick with the pea thing. Pea as in the food, not as in going number one. Dr. Mike says he wants one. Yeah, they're beautiful Bibles. There's no doubt. But yeah, I'm just not into the images thing. Whoa. Hold on, Kobe, I'll come back to you. So this comment is interesting to me. I don't like the snakes. I don't like the wolves or snakes. I guess I haven't looked at it close enough. So I guess there's wolves or snakes in the image on the spine. A lady I work with eats peanut butter and banana pepper sandwiches. Whoa, that's out there, bro. That is out there. And I'm assuming by this you meant yeah, I see it down here, a garbage take. Yeah, peanut butter and banana pepper sandwiches. That is gross. And maybe you're talking about me not liking peas, and that's fair. I know they're out there, pea lovers, not me. Let's see. Dr. Mike, the only issue I have with the Shepherd is its paragraph form, so I can't preach from it. Okay, so you're like me, you kind of prefer the verse-by-verse situation. Brussels sprouts are good. That's my controversial food take. I actually agree with that. I like Brussels sprouts. I'm a fan. Especially if you cut them in half, roast them in the oven with some garlic salt and get them real crispy. I'm about that life. Let's see, Daniel says, plans for upcoming videos you could share. At this point, I can't really share anything ahead of time. I do have quite a few Bibles coming in from Thomas Nelson that I'm excited to check out. I do have another book review coming up. It's going to take me a bit to get through that book. And as far as topical stuff, I have a few ideas rolling around in my head, but I haven't settled on them. If you're watching this right now, and even if you're watching it later, you're not in the chat, if there's something you would like me to talk about on here, let me know. I like to engage with you guys. I'm not saying I'll take every suggestion, but it may be something I hadn't thought of that'll work really good as far as for the channel, and you guys get involved with the discussion on it. So, nope, her sandwich. Okay, so not the peas, but the sandwich. Yeah, I agree. I can't get behind that kind of sandwich, man. I just, nope, can't do it. Yeah, back to upcoming stuff. I mean, I don't have a ton. This may surprise some of you, but I don't have a lot of long-term stuff mapped out for this. Sometimes it's literally I get up that day, and if it's a topical thing, it's like, it's just something that's been heavy on my mind, and, maybe it would fit the YouTube channel. The Bibles are another matter. I do have sort of a plan for those. The Thomas Nelson stuff, though, that I mentioned, some of it hasn't been released yet, so I don't really want to speak to it too much. But, yeah, I just kind of talk about stuff as it comes. The live I did with regard to the Tucker Carlson Ted Cruz interview was purely because it looked like something that was worthy of really bringing up because the theological nature of it. But yeah, I have some Bibles still that are just like mine personally that I haven't done reviews on yet, that I may do at some point, but we shall see. Yeah, Kobe says same. He looks around and decide what Bible I'm going to review. Yeah, sometimes that's just the way it is, man. There's several like that just came to mind right now that I'm like, I know are not here at my office, but my wife has them. And I'm like, I need to review that Bible. That's a cool Bible, and I just haven't done it. So I forget about it sometimes. That sandwich is going to haunt my nightmares. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Speaking of nightmares, something happened to me last night. If you follow me on X or Facebook or anything, you might have already seen this. This is maybe TMI for you. So if you're squeamish about this stuff, about breaking wind, then you may not want to hear this story and turn it off. So last night, I was dead asleep. And I woke up because this sensation hit my nostrils like hard, just hit my nostrils, and it smelled like something was burning, like something was on fire. So immediately I kind of panicked, thinking, well, maybe the smoke alarm batteries are dead and didn't realize it or whatever. So I get out of bed and I run around and I'm checking rooms and I'm trying to see if the smells, and the smell just kind of goes away and there's nothing wrong at all. So I go back and I lay down in my bed and I'm like, I don't know what that was. And then I broke wind while I was awake, and the same burning smell hit my nostrils. And then I realized that I just farted myself awake. That may have been TMI. You maybe didn't want to know that. I thought it was hilarious. I laughed at myself in the middle of the night. I was like, that's pretty bad, when it made me think that there was a fire. And I woke myself up. My poor wife must just be immune to it over the years. I don't know, but yeah. Yeah, Kyle, I actually texted him that this morning to let him know. That's why you don't chug liquid smoke. Yeah, probably not a good idea. Conwire, I've done that. Glad I'm not alone, brother. that was definitely something. I'm like, man, what does that say about my system if I'm waking myself up with this? So, yeah. Absolutely ridiculous. And I have to share that because, sometimes, especially online, you kind of have this persona that you put out there. And I know there are some people out there who would even say that they would never share a story like that, or, that it's just unbecoming or whatever. Man, I desire to be authentic, and if I think something is funny and it's appropriately funny, I'll share it. I thought that was hilarious, and I also want people to know I'm a human being. So, yeah. Yep. Prudes. Yeah, sometimes, some people just aren't into it. I remember one time I was with a friend group, relatively new to me, and my buddy's wife was there, and was like, started to tell something funny like that happened, and I said something to the effect of, I don't know how you feel about bathroom humor, but, and before I could tell the joke, my buddy's wife goes, I don't like it. So it just cut me off immediately, and I respected her wishes and held back for her sake. So if you're watching this channel right now in this live and you were offended, I'm not sorry, but I also don't want to offend you on purpose, but, I thought it was funny. So, maybe it'll be okay. Sorry. I don't know what I'm doing here. That's funnier than non-demon. I don't know, man. That is pretty hilarious. The whole non-demon church thing was pretty good. Pardon me, I have to reply on my watch. Yes. Done. Okay. People are offended by just about everything today. It's true. I mean, my thing is, I've always tried to not be needlessly offensive and save most of my offenses for, if things are going to be offensive, genuinely offensive, I want it to be spoken in love and it be the truth, because I know there's definitely going to be things out there that are. And then sometimes when I share a story like the one I just shared with you where that happened, I kind of second guess myself. I'm like, well, was that needlessly offensive or whatever? And the truth is, I'm like, yeah. Honestly, if that really gets your goose, you may be a little too Christian. I'm just kidding. You know what I mean? Like maybe a little more in Fundy land, that sort of thing. Is anyone else, were you not allowed to say when you were growing up? Because I grew up in, I love my parents, grew up in a great home, but it was definitely kind of like when it came to language, certain things were considered bad words that I don't consider bad words now as an adult. Like, I was not allowed to say FART. I had to say toot. Anyone else grow up with that sort of background? That'd be interesting to hear. If you say toot, it definitely removes the offense. I don't know. But yeah, we don't have to talk about this anymore. I got to go in a few minutes. So what else? What else you got? Kyle's grip. Yep, same. Yep. I kind of thought that would be the case, brother. Let's see. Jonathan Paisley. We had Christian cuss words. That's right. We did. We had our Christian cuss words like toot and some of the ones that were acceptable in my house I didn't understand, like, and my parents are not as hard and loose with this stuff anymore. But like one of them was, it was unacceptable to say CARP, but crud was okay. I don't know what the rules are. I don't understand the rules. Poot. Godwire says. Yeah. Poot, toot. It just, I guess it sounds less vulgar. I don't know. I don't understand. Why not carp? Because a carp, Kyle, is a fish. And it's a beautiful, majestic creature. And we don't want to desecrate its good name like that. That's why. Same here. I'm not serious, Kyle. Same here. My mom was like that. All right. Kobe, did you say you grew up in an SBC type church? Is that right? Let's see. Oh, bass. I was thinking of carp. I guess bass could be used as a bad word replacement too. The same critique applies. Are you going to have your dad on the channel again? I would love to have Dad on the channel again, but he's a busy guy, and, he doesn't exactly live super close. So I would love to have him back on, though. It would be cool to have him back on and talk about some other stuff. I'm sure he would. Yes, you were. Okay, and then right here, IFB to SBC. Yeah, so Independent Fundamentalist Baptist to Southern Baptist. And I know now, PCA. Yep. Kobe is way more reformed than I could ever hope to be. He is the reformed guy. As he says here, he kept reforming. Yeah. I love you, man. I love you. Yep, and that's what I would say. Kyle already took the words out of my mouth. Semper Reformanda. Yep, kept reforming. Mango tilapia. Are we Matthew 16:18? Are we just naming fish? Like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm about it. Nope. Oh, Kobe, don't sell yourself short, man. You are reformed. But I also know you're a very charitable brother, and when a lot of other Presbyterians would say Baptists can't be reformed, Kobe doesn't agree with that sentiment. And there are a lot of Presbyterians out there who don't, so thankful for that, man. I know it's late, but are you familiar with Licana's flexible inerrancy? It sounds problematic, but what is it? I'm sorry, Jonathan, that's not something I've ever heard of before, but I will say, just in the title, the words flexible inerrancy makes me kind of not like that, but I don't really know a lot about it. It's all in fun. That's right. Oh, and you were RB for a little bit, Reformed Baptist. Yeah. St. Peter's fish equals mango tilapia. I'm so confused, Matthew, about what is going on here. I really want to know what this is, but I don't. I am confused and I feel ashamed. But listen, guys, I've got to go ahead and jet. I've got elder candidate meeting here shortly, so I've got to get out of here. It's been fun to just hang with y'all. I've really enjoyed the lighthearted nature of these conversations with you guys. Really appreciate y'all watching the channel and supporting it, being a part of it. It means the world to me. I keep doing it, and I'm thankful for you guys caring about it. So really enjoyed the conversation. Actually subbed to a guy on YouTube named the Reformed Baptist, or Reformed Reader who is Baptist. Okay, cool. Yeah, exactly. That would be Kyle's fault. The net's opened, indeed. Yep. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm going to peace out of here. Really appreciate you taking the time to jump in. We'll do it again soon. Love y'all. Thanks.